Hello, this is Stavros Danos, the owner and designer of Aries Cerat Limited. Welcome to our room at the Munich High-End Show 2024. We're in a pleasant position to present finally our flagship speakers, the Contendo 2, which is the result of the effort of 14 years of development and construction of several prototypes. Back in 2010, when we established the company, we decided to make the best possible speaker. That's why we started developing our own electronics, trying to develop the best speaker possible. Personally, I did not like what was in the market in terms of electronics, so I went into crazy mode trying to develop the best electronics possible for this endeavor. In due process, a lot of people like our lab tools, the electronics, the amplifiers, the preamps, the DACs that we use to fine-tune and develop further the Contendo 2 speaker. And people really ask for us to make commercial use of the designs. This is how we went into electronics and pretty much ended up being electronics first company, which an extended line of amplifiers, preamps, phono stages, and digital converters, which all spawn out of this project, which took 14 years to finally present to the public, which we are very happy to do so in this year's show. So this is the Contendo 2 speaker. It's a four-way, full horn-loaded speaker. It uses separate bass horns to cover the frequency range below 100 Hz, and a three-way speaker for the rest of the audio frequency. It's a full solid wood carved speaker. We don't use any plastic or injecting molding for the creation of the speaker. Everything is hand built, is handcrafted and hand finished, polished. It takes a lot of time to construct and deliver a speaker like this. The specific speaker had a build time of around a year and a half, and we're very happy to present it this year. We had the opportunity having a big room, and so we're very happy to show the public of what we do and what is our full sound philosophy. In this show, we had the opportunity to present some new electronics, such as the new Danos series lineup with the condensers, amplifiers, Agito preamp, and Ithaca minor digital converter. But the real surprise of the show, which we tried to keep it a surprise at least, was the new Pandora turntable, which was a personal advice. Being a mechanical, aeronautics, and material engineer, I really had a lot of, let's say, suppressed ideas about how a true state-of-the-art analog reproduction should be. Over the years, working with in the industry, I was really not, let's say, satisfied from the solutions in the industry regarding analog reproduction. So all these congested ideas had to be released somehow. So I took the opportunity last year to say to go into this huge endeavor to actually make the best possible analog reproduction machine. It's called Pandora. As the myth says, the Pandora box opened up and all the, let's say, the bad things came loose. So I think that it has a double meaning, as we think that this turntable is really disruptive in the way that how it's built and how the solutions are implemented for analog reproduction. The turntable is built around mainly two principles. One is we really didn't like that the epitome and the absolute top ceiling of analog reproduction is based on a belt-driven chain of motion. So we tried to develop the best direct drive turntable. The reason why direct drive turntables have a bad reputation is mainly because of the motor technology, the motor rumbling, and the self noise of the motor itself. So we went to an extended length to cover all bases regarding making the absolute perfect motor, which is not just perfect in any way for audio, but it really opens up possibilities outside of audio, such as electronic microscopes. The reason why we went into such a length is because when you take into consideration the level of accuracy regarding analog reproduction, although being a 100-year-old technology, it is really difficult for to get the physical can I read that out, right? No? Anyway.
You go.
So it's very difficult to understand the scale of accuracy that has to be in the motion of the platter itself. This way we went into a lot of lengths to design the motor we had in mind. We used a motor that has no iron core, does not have discrete iron stator, and it does not have any bushings or bearings. The whole motor is based on air bushing technology, so it has zero rumbling, and we went into a very long process of developing software to control the motion of the motor, so it has zero ripple and zero torque ripple and zero cogging, which is the absolute only way to have a motor which has zero noise. The problem with direct drive is that you will always have measurable and audible noise. There is no way to bypass that if you don't have a perfect motor which measures and sounds absolutely below the measurable noise floor. We went into a step above that, and we decided to make the platter not with the usual bushing or air bushings or even the air platter, air supported platter, but we went and developed a hydrodynamic bearing. Hydrodynamic bearings have application where you want to have zero mechanical friction. It's used in applications that you have to have zero maintenance. So you have a bearing which is used for 300 years without any maintenance. The principle is that a motion of the bearing itself will create such a high pressure in the oil bath, which will lift the whole platter in enough distance, enough clearance that you have zero rumbling. We could not find anything in the market commercially, so we went and designed and built in-house our own biradial end thrust oil bearing, which is pretty much the foundation of the sound of the turntable. Many key aspects of the turntable, such as platter material, the interface between platter and vinyl, the coupling between the motor and the platter itself. We went to quite extended lengths to create technologies such as the push-pull magnetic coupling between motor and platter. They're always having in mind that about the level of accuracy and level of noise suppression that has to be in a technology which is 100-year-old actually, analog reproduction. We could not have this turntable be, let's say, without a Tonearm of ourselves. We wanted to have full control of the sound of the turntable. Having developed the Pandora turntable, we decided to develop our own series of Tonearms. The main focus point of the Tonearm construction is the Tonearm itself is a single piece, and the only way to do this, especially in the exotic metals we wanted to use, it was 3D printed. So we 3D printed full titanium Tonearms. The Tonearm is one single piece, from cartridge to the bearing itself. The reason why we do this is because wherever you have a change of material, a change in geometry, you have a reflection back to the origin of the vibration, which is the cartridge itself. So we really wanted to have a single piece throughout the Tonearm. Another aspect of the design of our Tonearms is that we try to make it true zero friction Tonearm. We see a lot of air bearings out there which are not true, which you can really see that if you use electronic stethoscope or some vibrometers. You can really see that most of them have rumbling noise because they are either low flow or low pressure, usually very low tolerance, high tolerance bushings. So we went into a process of finding and developing, if not possible to find something available, a very tight tolerance and very stiff air bushing. We ended up with the development of very high pressure, very low flow, extremely stiff and zero pitch, extremely high pitch stiffness bearing. The reason why we do this is because linear Tonearms, air bearings, air bearing Tonearms have a play, very minuscule, very low level play, which give the linear Tonearms usually a very softer sound. Many people give this attribute in sound softer, which they usually call it ungrounded sound, doesn't have foundation. And this is mostly because not only for the material used, but especially how the whole Tonearm is supported and of the compliance of the air bearing. So the whole concept of the air bearing is having zero play, zero friction, and extreme stiffness, so it can give this fullness and this robust, let's say, solid foundation for the cartridge to do its job. Another key aspect is that we did not go the full length to minimize weight and minimize, let's say, to make a delicate Tonearm. We really feel that a Tonearm should be inert, and a Tonearm should be have enough inertia so it does not allow the cartridge to move in extreme dynamic peaks, in extreme bass material, which happens a lot when you have, let's say, a delicate and more light Tonearm. We are in the philosophy of making the Tonearm high inertia, but at the same time, zero true friction. Our Tonearms, you can breathe on it and it just slides off if it's not on the record. They have extremely good tracking capabilities. We tested with plus 18 dB. They do not even flinch, even with the low quality cartridges, which is a tell sign if your Tonearm has tracking capabilities. We're really happy with the prototypes we developed so far. So far we have printed titanium, printed aluminum, and a hybrid of titanium liquid carbon Tonearm. So we expect to have the full range of Tonearms launched along with the main Pandora turntable. Another key aspect of the turntable is that there is this dichotomy in turntable design, which is high mass or suspended, which is a false it's a false dilemma because the one does not exclude the other. Our turntable is fully suspended on both horizontal plane and the vertical plane. So on the horizontal plane, the whole plinth of the turntable, along with the motor and the supports for the Tonearms, is suspended on triple pendulum. So it has about 1 hertz of horizontal resonance, so it's extremely low to cover all the airborne vibrations coming to your turntable. At the same time, the whole pendulum is suspended on 9 very strong magnetic suspensions, so all the vibrations coming from the floor are isolated from the Tonearm. from the whole structure, from the whole turntable. So you have an extremely, very, very high mass turntable along with suspension, which you have best of both worlds in terms of isolation and both from airborne vibrations and from the floor. So it's a really rethinking of the whole chain from your rack to the cartridge of how we believe that true analog reproduction should be.